I got shot in the eye.
You got shot in the eye.
I think so.
With a revolver.
As the detective closes in on the killer, he discovers a shocking truth. The suspect is dying. With time running out, he must race against the clock to solve the case before it's too late. Will he be able to catch the culprit and uncover the motive before he's out of time? Find out in this thrilling detective mystery. Unknown to police officers, 18-year-old Ryan was not lying about his condition when he was being mocked by the detectives. Ryan had sustained a gunshot wound to his head, which caused him to experience a severe brain bleed. The situation was critical, and Ryan's life hung in the balance as time was running out.
I really don't know, and I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed.
You're not going back to bed.
The events of December 23, 2006 would forever change the life of Ryan Waller. That day, two men, Richie and Larry Carver, broke into his house seeking revenge for a past argument. Ryan was quick to hear the noise at the door and went to investigate, only to be shot twice in the eye by a hand that reached inside. Despite being left for dead, Ryan miraculously survived the attack. However, his girlfriend Heather was not as fortunate, as the two intruders gunned her down, killing her instantly. This incident left Ryan traumatized and fighting for his life, with no idea why the attack happened in the first place. When the police arrived at the scene hours later, Ryan was able to give them a statement about what had occurred. But the ordeal was far from over. Instead of being taken straight to the hospital to receive medical attention, Ryan was taken to the police station and interrogated for what felt like the longest hour of his life. Before the interview started, Ryan was left alone in the room, handcuffed to the desk, and squirming in pain for 20 minutes straight. The experience left him feeling helpless and isolated, with no one to turn to for support.
Man.
Despite Ryan's obvious state of distress, the detectives proceeded with the interrogation.
You know why you're down here, Ryan? You have no idea why you're down here? Okay. I don't know what happened, so I'm going to read you something to make sure you understand your rights, okay? Ever seen that TV show Cops or CSI or anything like that?
Okay.
You ever seen that?
No.
You've never seen any kind of cop show? Lawyer show? Any kind of show?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to listen up real close now. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can't be used against you in a court of law. What's the highest grade you went through school?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know the highest grade you went through?
8th?
8th grade? Did you graduate?
Yeah.
Do you have a GED?
I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't know. I don't know. I just want to go home.
Oh, you're not going to go home right now. What's the highest grade that you completed?
B?
Not grade, as in letter grade. I'm asking, did you graduate high school?
No.
And the highest you went was 8th grade?
Yep.
Do you know how to read and write, Ryan?
Yeah.
The detective's behavior towards Ryan suggests that he's aware of some underlying issue. His tone grows louder and his pace slows down, opting for simpler language as if addressing a child. Despite the visible signs of a beating, Ryan's responses fail to convince the detective that anything is amiss. The detective persists with his line of questioning, seemingly dismissing the severity of the situation. Will the truth come to light, or will the detective's blind pursuit of the case lead to dire consequences?
Do you have a girlfriend? No? You know a girl named Heather?
The one that lives there right now?
I guess, I don't know. If her name's Heather, what's her last name?
I don't know which name she's trying to use as her last one. She's trying to have a real last as her nickname, so I don't know.
What nickname does she go by?
She probably wants the last name, Kyman.
Kyman? How old is Heather?
16 or 17.
Is she a white girl?
Yeah,
How did you meet Heather?
I've known her since school. I don't know.
You just known her from school?
She used to be a business name.
She used to be in a class, your business class?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What happened to your face?
I don't know.
You told the officer just a few minutes ago that someone hit you. Do you remember who hit you?
I don't know. I think it was Heather.
Why would Heather hit you?
It was an accident. I forgot why.
What was an accident?
Heather's last name?
No. What was an accident?
Heather hitting me.
What did she hit you with?
Her hand in the eye.
Did you guys have an argument?
Not really, no.
Not really?
Uh-uh.
What happened for her to hit you in the eye like that?
She just hit me on accident. She was giving Christina a head.
She was what?
She was helping Christina with her hair or something. I don't know.
Who's Christina?
She's on the couch.
Christina's on the couch?
Ryan and Heather resided with an undisclosed individual, potentially Christina, during the time of the attack. No one else was present in the house during the night of the incident. Ryan displays evident symptoms of a traumatic brain injury, yet the detective fails to make the correlation, despite Ryan's descriptions of blunt force trauma. A doctor's evaluation should be mandatory, given his abnormal behavior. However, the situation only worsens instead of progressing in the right direction. It's a perplexing turn of events, given the circumstances, and the detective's failure to act on vital clues only adds to the confusion. The possibility of the unknown individual's involvement adds another layer of intrigue to the already complex situation.
What happened last night?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I really don't. I just want to go to sleep and go to sleep.
Well, you remembered Heather hitting you in the eye, right?
I don't know what anybody was doing. I really don't.
Who was in the house when you went to sleep?
Christina and Heather.
Christina and Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And Christina was on the couch?
Heather was.
Heather was on the couch. You told me Christina was on the couch just a minute ago.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I really don't.
You just don't know?
I really don't, man.
Or you don't want to tell me?
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I just want to go and go to sleep, man.
All right, you're not going to go anywhere. Do you know what happened in your house last night?
Mm-mm.
Is that house yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yours or your parents'?
Mine.
You bought that house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
I don't know what happened. You're all beat up, right? So tell me what happened.
I don't know. I just want to go to sleep, man. That's it.
There's a dead girl in your living room.
She's dead?
Yes.
Heather?
I don't know. I want to know what happened in your house last night.
The girl on the couch is dead?
I don't know. If she's on the couch, she's dead.
Well, these people came over, Richie and his dad, with shooting arrow, bow, and darts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They hit me and her with those. That's it. And Heather wasn't there. And Eric wasn't there. It was just me and Heather was there.
You and Heather were there. And then what happened?
And that's it. Richie and his dad tried to break in through the back.
Richie and Dad? His dad?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Richie?
I don't know.
Well, you obviously know him. You know his name by Richie.
He used to live there.
Was he a roommate of yours?
He used to be.
They hit you?
Yeah.
Now it's Richie that hit you, not Heather?
No, Richie and his dad.
Richie and his dad. They hit you.
Yes.
Why?
Because they're trying to get their stuff. I don't know why.
And they had some kind of bow and arrows?
Mm-hmm. They each had 2 revolvers and they didn't let off any shells.
Okay, you just said they had bow and arrows. Now they have revolvers?
That's what I meant. They had revolvers.
They have revolvers?
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then they shot us with those.
They shot both of you?
Yeah.
Where'd they shoot you at?
I got shot in the eye.
You got shot in the eye
I think so.
with a revolver.
I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. Fuck.
Then what happened?
I don't know.
You don't know a lot, Ryan.
I don't, man. I really don't.
It seems almost impossible for the detective to articulate himself as well as Ryan in his current situation. With a revolver bullet still lodged in his brain, Ryan is being asked to recount the exact sequence of events, including the names of the perpetrators. Despite the apparent incredibility of his story, the cop's laughter only adds to Ryan's obvious distress and pain. He urgently needs to go to the hospital, but salvation seems to be more than half an hour away. Ryan's condition is critical, and time is running out for him to get the medical attention he needs. Will he be able to survive long enough to share his side of the story, or will his words be lost forever?
Ryan, why don't you tell me what really happened there? Because I don't believe...
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know. I could tell you anything, I swear.
Well, I want you to tell me the truth. That's all I want from
Richie
you.
and his dad came there. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but they put me in sleeping hold. And, they put me in sleeping hold with the arrows and shit. I lived through that crap.
Okay, they put you in a sleeping hold?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know, man.
You're telling me they put you in a sleeping hold. What is a sleeping hold?
I don't know.
Well, explain it.
really don't know.
It's coming out of your mouth. Explain that to me. What's a sleeping hold?
I really don't know, man. I really don't. I really don't know.
Okay. You're telling me you're all over the board here, number one. You're saying bows and arrows, you're saying revolvers, and you're saying some other thing, and you're saying they shot you in the eye. Okay? They shot you with a revolver in your eye.
Yes. And that's
Is it a BB gun?
No, it was a real gun, man. It was just a
If
revolver.
they shot you in the eye with a revolver, you wouldn't be talking to me right now.
How do you know?
It was most likely you'd be dead.
That's what I thought too, man. I really don't know. I really don't know, and I just want to go back to sleep and try to go back to bed.
You're not going back to bed, okay? That's not going to happen. What happened to Heather?
Heather got shot
Where did she get shot?
inside the face once.
She got shot inside of the face?
Mm-hmm.
How close were you to her when she got shot in the face?
It was after I got shot, so I didn't even hear anything.
So you got shot first,
Uh-huh.
and what happened? Did you fall to the ground?
Yeah, I was trying to get up and shit, and I couldn't.
And then she got shot?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? Did you call 911?
Uh-uh.
Did you see if she was alive?
She was sleeping still, and that's it. I just let her sleep.
She got shot in the side of the face, and you let her sleep?
Yes.
This does not make sense, Ryan.
I know, I didn't mean to, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know she was passing out. That's because I got shot wrong once, too, and I was gonna pass out.
Okay, this is now, not before. You're saying right now you've been shot
Yes.
in the eye
Yes.
with a revolver.
Yes.
All right. Ryan, you need to start telling me the truth because your story doesn't make sense.
I'm trying, man. I don't know. Just ask me anything and I'll tell you the truth. Just ask me.
Well, I'm trying to, and you're not even coming close to the truth.
Go ahead, ask me.
What happened with you and Heather last night?
Her dad came and shot the house.
And shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad shot her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do?
I tried to go back to sleep.
After you've been shot
Mm-hmm.
in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know enough to call 911.
Mm-mm.
Why did you call 911?
Because I was just trying to go to sleep. That's it.
You just saw Richie's and his dad shoot your girlfriend, and you just felt like you needed to go to sleep?
Something like that. I don't know, man. I really don't.
Ryan, look at me. Ryan,
Yes. I don't know, man. I really don't
why
know.
did you shoot Heather, Ryan?
I didn't shoot Heather. She was already shot once by her brother, I swear.
Richie.
Yes.
Richie shot his own sister.
Yes, I swear. That's it.
Sit down.
Not me.
And you've been shot in the eye.
Yes.
Put your feet up on the table, please.
My feet hurt, man. I don't know why.
Get them off my table. Let me see your nose. Come on, put your legs down. Put your legs down. Bring your face closer.
Oh, my head hurts.
Okay. Yeah, be right back.
After some time, the detective's skepticism fades away, and he begins to suspect that something may be wrong with Ryan's health. He decides to leave the room to call for an ambulance, and swiftly returns to gain further insight into the shooting. Ryan informs the detective that Heather has no connection with Richie or his father, leaving the detective puzzled about the motive behind the attack. A brief moment passes, and the sound of sirens announces the arrival of the fire department. Ryan's injury receives attention as the emergency team makes its way into the room, and the detective observes, hoping to glean further information.
And he's acting like he has a serious head injury, which would make sense. So,
What's your
you guys
name?
confirm.
Ryan.
Yeah, we'll take them.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
can tell. Did that all? Has it been like that before, or it just happened tonight?
this for like a day or so.
So it happened what the other night?
I don't know.
You don't know what happened. Were there guns around?
This kid Eric did it. I don't know how he did it exactly. It might have been shot. I don't know.
Are you waiting on
I don't know.
It looks like it went right through, huh?
Yeah, it might have. I don't know.
After enduring 56 minutes of unwarranted interrogation, Ryan finally received medical attention for his deteriorating health. The hospital staff discovered that his condition was critical and that he had been shot in the eye. It was also revealed that Ryan had contracted an infection that could have been prevented with proper care. Despite being treated at the hospital for 35 days, Ryan suffered irreversible damage, including the loss of part of his brain and left eye. He continued to endure regular seizures for years after his release from the hospital, until one finally claimed his life in 2016. The perpetrators, Richie and Larry, were both sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for their heinous crimes. The tragedy of Ryan's life serves as a reminder of the devastating impact of neglect and mistreatment in the justice system. What measures do you think could be taken to ensure that individuals in police custody receive proper medical attention and care? Let us know in the comments below.